Alexis Nunes alongside Mark Ogden. Oggy, let's talk Manchester United because it seems that they have gained some serious ground on Liverpool. I'm sure the way things were going at one point this season, if we thought that we would be saying this right now, people would have laughed at us. But how much should we read into this? And can we start talking about United as title contenders?
Well, I think what happens on Friday on New Year's Day against Aston Villa will tell us a lot. If United win that game against Villa, a good Villa team have given a lot of teams problems this season. United go joint top with Liverpool. So on the first day of 2021, Man United could be joint top of the league, which I don't think any Man United fans would really have seen as a realistic possibility at the start of the season, especially after losing 6-1 at home to Tottenham or 3-1 at home to Crystal Palace, 1-0 at home to Arsenal. They've had a lot of ups and downs this season, but United have suddenly put it together, and there's a real buoyancy about the club now. It looks like there's a lot of belief there, and I think, you know, beating Villa will be a signal of intent. I saw Liverpool at Newcastle on Wednesday. They weren't very convincing. So Liverpool have got it on them now they've got to fight for the title. And if it's Man United up against them, who they play at Anfield in mid-Jan, then we might have a title race between the two biggest clubs in the country. So it's quite exciting, and let's hope it goes that way.
At one point when United's struggles were out there for everyone to see, we know that a lot of the fans were just itching and waiting and counting down for the January transfer window that is upon us right now as well. But it seems like those problems aren't as out there as they were before. Do you think Ole still needs to dip deep in the transfer window, or can he look into the current crop of players to just continue this recent run of good form?
Well, I still think he has some issues to address. I don't think he fully, or I don't think he can fully trust David de Gea in goal or Paul Pogba. I mean, the selection issues with Pogba this season suggest that he's not convinced by Pogba. He starts in some games, doesn't play him in other games, and de Gea's form has been patchy. So he needs those two to start performing like the world-class players that they are. If de Gea and Pogba perform like they can do between now and the end of the season, United have got a great chance. So it's whether they can. The consistency this season hasn't been great. So if Solskjaer could find a player to make a difference in January, I think the board would back him to do it. I'm not sure who that player would be, but Harry Maguire doesn't miss games. If they lost Maguire, I think they'd struggle because they'd lack a bit of certainty at the back. Obviously, they wouldn't want to be without Marcus Rashford for too long or Bruno Fernandes. But United have a good squad now, and I think if the players that Solskjaer wants more of deliver that extra bit in the second half of the season, they can challenge. But ultimately, I think Liverpool have got a better squad, a proven squad. But United have certainly got the talent. It just needs the 6 out of 10 players to become 8 out of 10 players in the second half of the season to surprise us all, really, by winning the title again.
And finally, just on your point on David de Gea, as you can say, his patchy form does continue. We've seen Dean Henderson go out there as well, get a chance, and probably make one or two more mistakes than people would have liked. I know this is constantly a topic we talk about. And at one point, you said he wasn't ready to be United's number one. Is he ready now?
I think he's certainly more ready. That's not really, that's a bit of a politician's answer, isn't it? But I think he's shown this season that he's the confidence and he's got the self-belief to be United's goalkeeper. I think, and because De Gea has been up and down this season, I don't think there's a lot between them. If De Gea was performing like we know he can, I still think there'd be a gap between the two of them. But I think De Gea's form for me hasn't been convincing enough to say that he's the undisputed number one. So if Henderson was to be picked for a run of games for a month or so, I don't think he'd let United down. I think he's good enough. But that's because De Gea hasn't been performing as he should be. So it's a tough one for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But right now, I'd stick with De Gea for now. But one more mistake, and he's got to go with Henderson.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.